So this is my presentation on motor learning skills in sport by me, Max Wilkins. What is motor learning? Motor learning is the study of processes involved in acquiring and refining skills. It offers techniques, strategies that work for coaches on a daily basis. Knowing basic concepts takes much of the guesswork out of finding the best instructional sequences and progressions to learn sport. So in more basic terms than the definition I have given, basically means it's the way that you start with a skill and slowly improve it to being a much more associative way of improving it than starting at the cognitive stage of learning. So it basically means the improvement and getting better at that certain skill. So for my skill, I did a football pass. Just a basic pass, just a basic forward pass. If you would like to watch the first video of Louisa doing this pass, you can see she's in the cognitive stage of doing the football pass. She knows how to do it. She knows the basic skills, but she's not 100% on it. She's not at that stage where we could start developing it more, using different feet, using different arm movements, different distances, different things like that. So that means obviously when we look at it a bit more in depth, we can pick out the bits that we need to improve before we start thinking about that learner. So if you watch the slow-mo, you can see if we stop it here, you can see her foot is very far away from the ball. So if we look at her foot there, it should be around here. That means that she's not going to have as much control as she would do if she was to put her foot right next to the ball. She's not going to have the direction that she would want, so it could go anywhere. If you look at her eyes, she is looking down at the ball, which is also very helpful. Her arms are not balancing her, they are straight on both sides. This, along with the foot placement, would mean that she's more likely to fall or to lean than she is likely to if she had her arms spread and ready to go. Another good point about her start off is her knee. Her knee is bent at just under 90 degrees. This gives her a bit more balance. So if we play the video on a little bit further, you can see her foot lands, and see where it's planted. It's a long way away from that red line, and you can see along there it's pointing towards the ball. It should be pointing parallel to the ball. Still, obviously the line's moved a bit, but her eyes are still focused down as we play it through. We can see her leg is very straight. We want this knee to be bent so we can get more power, and obviously if you're going to kick a ball with a straight leg, you're going to land on it and it's going to make you very unbalanced. If we continue. Another good thing about Louisa here is her foot, when she kicks the ball, is with the side. That's exactly what you want from a basic pass, and she's still got her eye on the ball, so she's not going to miss the ball or anything like that. She's always looking at it, which is a good thing. Her knee here is also bent, but her leg is very straight, which means when she kicks that ball, she's probably going to fall off balance because her foot's going to go through, and she's going to tilt to one side. As you can see with the follow through, she already looks really unbalanced. That's due to the fact that her standing foot was very far away from the ball. So she's already got a big gap between her actual leg, her kicking leg, and her standing leg. And as you can see there, she starts to fall back as she lands, which means she's got much more unbalanced. And if you were to do that in a real game, you'd probably fall over. You can see her arms there, she's come through. She's still looking at the ball, which is really good. And you can see as she lands, she takes a step back. If we look at the breakdown here, we can see here that if I were to teach her how to do this properly, I would make sure this foot was all the way up here, next to the ball parallel. Her eyes are perfect, they're focusing down on the ball. That was the only two things I would improve from the start off. It's really good. Other than that, For here, see her arms start to come out, which is really good as well. Again, with that foot, we want that much straighter. We want this knee a little bit more bent, and we want to keep that low. Her hips are pointing at like an angle, which isn't great. We want her hips to be more like flat, so we want them straight, and that would give her much more direction and a lot more power as she kicked the ball. The other great thing about this is her eyes are focused straight down on the ball still, which is exactly what we need when executing this kind of skill. The next one, her foot here is perfect. Side of the ball, side of the foot, side of the ball. But as you can see how far away this foot has got from the ball, that gap there, that means she's going to be very, very unbalanced when she kicks it. Her arms could be a little bit wider, so she could bring her arms out a little bit more, just so she keeps that balance. But she's got a good straight body. She's obviously corrected her hips. Her eyes are in line with her foot when she kicks the ball, which is really good as well. So she can watch how she kicks it, how it goes through. But yeah, the connection part of the ball was probably the best technically that she was throughout the thing. And obviously the end bit, so the ball's gone off. As you can see, there's a very big gap in between her feet. This means that she's going to fall backwards, as we saw in the last video. It's just a lot easier to break it down this way. Her arms are very close to her body still. This knee looks good. This knee's good bent as well. Obviously, because her feet are so far apart, she struggles a lot when it finishes and she rocks back. Another good thing is the ball, her eyes are still on the ball. She's focused on the ball the whole way through the pass, which is really good. And obviously she's not perfect at this skill, but she's got a really good base to work on. This is why I suggested she was in the cognitive stage of learning, just because she has all these basic skills of here. She's got her eyes on the ball, she's got a planted foot, and she's got a kicking foot. She knows how to pass the ball with the side of her foot, which is really good, which is a basic skill. However, when you break it down into the different stages, you can see there are little bits wrong, like the foot and the straight legs and the arms. Like the arms tend to they're a bit too close. They want to be a bit wider. But you can see that to get to that associative stage where we can start passing it with the other side of our foot, like this side here, we can start looking different ways. We can start passing it a lot further. We'd have to get these basics right, like the side foot and obviously the arms and the straight leg. And all that kind of stuff would lead to her becoming a better passer with the football. So if I were to coach Louisa, I would make sure that we got these bits perfect before we started anything else. Otherwise she's going to end up injuring herself or falling over and stuff like that, and it's not going to work greatly. But from a coaching point of view, it's got really good starting blocks to work on throughout. Thank you for listening.